My name is Michelle. I thought that I would come here and I'd make a video to talk about what I'm going through because I don't really know how to write about it yet. Normally I write about things that I'm going through, but yeah, the gravity of this felt pretty big and I wanted to try to talk about it on camera, even though I've never done this before. So bear with me, I'm a little bit awkward. For those of you who don't know me or my story, I am a cancer survivor. I had cancer the first time when I was 22, and yeah, I've just been diagnosed for the second time in 2 years. I'm 25 now, so I guess 3 years, but it was December 2015 and just before Christmas when I was diagnosed the first time. My symptoms then were bronchial cough. I was feeling extremely fatigued. I had like swollen lymph nodes in my neck, and yeah, I was just exhausted. I don't know, at the time I was studying at university, I was in my second year. I was waitressing as a part-time job. I was partying a lot as 22-year-olds do. So essentially I was just kind of being a normal young 20-something student and, you know, living a really fast-paced lifestyle, and I had no idea that the symptoms were symptomatic of cancer. I went to the doctor and she prescribed me antibiotics for my bronchitis. The sort of chest pain and the fatigue didn't go away and the night sweats, so I went back to the doctor. She sent me to the specialist and they looked at my lymph nodes and they said, "How long have you had these lumps for?" And I said, "Sorry, what? What lumps?" And so that led into then me going and having a biopsy, which is when they cut into your neck, and I've actually, probably can't see, but I've got a nice scar right there. So they cut into your neck, they take out lymph nodes, yeah, and then they do some like pathology tests, and yeah, found out about a week later that I had cancer. And nothing prepares you to hear those 3 words in life ever, especially when you're very young. It's about a week later I was then sent to the hospital. So I got this other gnarly ass scar. This one is when they cut into you, give you a nice old portacath, which is the sort of little gadget that goes under your skin, and that way they can administer the chemotherapy a lot more easy. So essentially I had this big operation and then I had the chemo at the same time, and that was Christmas Eve of 2015. So there's me and my sister. You can see the sort of bandages on my arms. I did 12 rounds of chemo, so 6 months, once every 2 weeks, going into the hospital. I lost all of my hair, which was pretty fucking devastating, if I'm being honest. I grew up in Cape Town, South Africa. Beautiful, beautiful city of mine, but very image conscious, very inundated with beautiful people, and I've always felt very pressured to be one of those people and to fit in. Losing my hair suddenly isolated me from the sort of culture. So all of this these life lessons have occurred around the same time as when I lost my hair and when I went through cancer, and my friends were incredibly supportive. My father also has had cancer. And I spent a lot of time working on healing, and I found myself living or going to work as a volunteer in the Ecuadorian Amazon, which is where I met Maxi, who is from an indigenous Quechua tribe in Ecuador, and we met when I moved to his community to work as a volunteer, and I lived with him for 2 months in the jungle. There you can see us. And yeah, we didn't have electricity or running water, but we lived together. We fished for food, we foraged for food, a lot of bananas, a lot of fish, a lot of rice. I taught English, and yeah, I really learned a lot from living in the wild, from living without all the kind of Western comforts that we're used to. And I realized what really makes me happy, which is Mother Nature, and the people of this community were so beautiful and so warm and welcoming and accepting. I learned a lot, and after that I lived in Quito, Ecuador's capital, for a year, working at a private school as a teacher, which is totally different, but also really, really incredible learning experience. I then decided to come to London and do my master's in journalism. I then started to have symptoms. Being a cancer survivor, you freak the fuck out when you think that you might be relapsing. It's nothing scarier in the world than the thoughts that go through your head. And we started doing tests. I had my bloods taken, I had my chest x-rayed, I had a PET scan, CT scan. A week later, doctor phoned, listen up, you got the cans. Good old cans back in your body. So I can make light of it, but probably the shittest phone call of my life, to be honest. I think that ultimately it's worse the second time, because you know what it entails to go through chemotherapy, to go through hospital visits, to go through hair loss, to go through everything. It's like you've been there, and you're finding out that you have it again. It's like getting hit by a bus twice, you know, or getting struck by lightning twice. It's like, really? Like, surely not. So essentially, you know, there's a 95% chance that it wouldn't come back, and I was in the 5%. So what he said to me in these exact words, you're just really, 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 really unlucky. Which is great news. It's a great thing to hear, actually. As you can see, I'm quite a sarcastic person. But sometimes all you can do is kind of laugh at it, because what else are you going to do, you know? When life hands you a bag of dicks, you know, make lemonade? I don't know. I don't have the answers to life's big questions, like why? Why do some people get sick? Why do some people die young? Why do some people grow up in civil war? Why do some people have to be refugees and flee their country? I don't understand. So I'm working through a lot of anger. I'm working through a lot of devastation. What my first cancer really taught me was to live present, to be in the now, because you never know what's gonna happen. I know it's fucking cliche, but I was so grateful to be here, and I am so grateful to be here, and I was so conscious of every moment. And you know, I used to watch other people complaining so much about things, and you know, just being so stressed about the future and about their lives, about what they're gonna do, and all I could think is just look around you, like, this life is so incredible. Like, you have limbs that work, you know, a bed to sleep in, and food to eat, and something to do, and a vocation, and an occupation, and you know, even if you don't have all of those things, like, there's always something to find within your surroundings that is beautiful and can be appreciated. I mean, dogs, guys. I look at dogs and I'm so grateful that they exist, because it makes me so happy. I'm rambling now at this point, but as much as I want to give up, there's so much more I want to do with my life, you know? Like, I really want to backpack more, and I want to live in the jungle again, and I want to document amazing, cool, interesting people and their stories, and I want to write a book, and I want to